When the king pump stalls on the downstroke every time and you're having problems, when this is down, all the way down, when it's stalling down on the downstroke, there's two issues. You could either have a bottom end unscrewing or the trip rod came out of adjustment. And the only way to really take a look at the trip rod is to remove this ring, unscrew it, and look down into the center of the pump. When the pump when a pump cycles to the bottom and stalls, there's an issue with it. Either it be the air motor trip rod or a bottom end down below separating. Before you pull the bottom ends to check that, you can check the top by unscrewing the lifting plug, looking into the very center of the pump. You should see 2-3 threads sticking out of the nut. If it is flush or below, it's most likely up here on top. And that's how we're going to show you how to adjust that and take care of that problem.
Where do you see the 2 or 3 threads again?
In the middle of the pump.
Okay, you see them, they're just the tip of this rod, correct?
Correct.
All right.
All right, now remove your air line. Remove all the nuts all the way around the top part here. There's 3/8 wrench. Take all these nuts off. Then I remove this elbow. The reason why I don't remove the elbow first, because I don't want a nut dropping in there and not having to retrieve it. Remove that after the nuts are off. Take a rubber mallet or something to tap on this thing if it don't come loose. This is new, this should come loose. And off it comes.
So you tap right under it to loosen it up, correct? With a rubber mallet.
Again, must have this on the upstroke all the way up.
All right, so to work on this, you have to make sure it's in the upstroke. All right, so now you have the bottom end in the upstroke so that that rod is exposed. So you should see how many threads are you supposed to see? 3?
No, one thread's fine.
One thread's fine, okay.
Any like that's fine. Flush sometimes even works too, but if it's below the head of the nut, which we'll show you later, then you do have an issue.
Okay, so you have to either see that rod flush or 1, 2, or 3 threads, but if it's down below, that means you have a problem.
So we got the bell off, we got that off. There's a rubber gasket which you got to reassemble later. Next, you take off your big nuts that are on the top here. Can't miss them. 1¼ inch. Remove the 2 nuts. You will have a spring and a guide in each one. Inspect
Show me the spring.
Make sure there's no cracks in it and it ain't broken. One on this side too, same thing. There's a plunger and a spring.
Wait, hold on, let me get that. Do that again.
There's a plunger in there and a spring.
Okay.
Make sure the spring isn't broke. Take the 4 bolts loose on the top. Take a 5/8 wrench for that. Put a rag over the hole here so nothing does fall in there. And then when you pull your bolts out.
You just dropped the washer.
straight up. Hopefully nothing will fall out. If it does, we'll reassemble that, just catch it. It's in this piece are a roller and a pin on each side. So there's a pin and a roller on each side of it. Inspect the roller, make sure there's no marks in it, that they're not gouged, they've got to be nice and flat. Same with the other side here, it's got the same thing. A roller and a pin.
So each side of that, hold up the top, each side of that has a roller and a pin in it, okay?
And then on the inside of that, there's a plunger that comes out.
Okay.
Plunger that comes out.
Roller and a pin and a plunger, okay.
And if this most of the time this washer and this rubber will stay down there. This is a new pump that was greased. So on top of that, you'll have a washer and a rubber.
Okay.
And right here is where the threads are. They're talking about the threads sticking out of the nut.
Yep, I'm going to do a close-up. Okay, you can see how there's about 2-3 threads sticking up out of the nut. That's what you want to see when you're looking in there.
Right here.
Yep, if you do not see,
If it's below the nut, you have, this is why we're taking it apart, because this is below the nut.
okay,
You're supposed to be Loctited. Sometimes they don't get Loctited.
so because there's not enough or there isn't any Loctite, what happens is that the bolt or that rod slowly migrates down, and then that causes the pump to lock in the down position, essentially.
So then when you lift up the cam,
Wait. Okay,
there's going to be 2 plungers on each side that are going to pop out. And you lift it up, kind of, you hold your hand on both sides here so they don't go too far. There's 2 plungers and 2 springs
okay.
on each side of that. Put that on the side for now. Lightly grab it with a vice grip right underneath the nut there.
Lightly. Okay,
So it don't drop down.
okay.
Now we need to remove the nuts. The top one is 13/16 and the bottom one is 7/8. Hold the bottom one, turn the top one off. Once that's removed, lift up the cam, put that on the side. On the stud, there is a 5/16 lock washer. Put that on the side. And then the post that's on there needs to be removed. Cleaned real good with carb cleaner. Clean the threads real good with a brake cleaner, carburetor cleaner. Make it ready, clean them off good. If you have available air, blow air in there, otherwise just let the carb cleaner evaporate. You need to get a red Loctite. This is just a Loctite brand, that doesn't matter which kind. You need Loctite on the threads. That's what was originally wrong with this pump.
So generously apply Loctite onto the thread.
Yep. Don't let it run down the shaft.
No.
You don't want nothing running down.
But sometimes you put 1 or 2 drops. This time you generously apply, so.
Make sure it's on the threads.
Yep. make sure it's on the threads.
Screw this down all the way. Sometimes you gotta take a wire brush to the threads, so whatever you gotta do to get this all the way down.
All the way down, okay?
Don't have to be tight, but it needs to be down.
Okay.
Then we reinstall that little 5/16 lock washer onto there. Reinstall the cam. And one more little drop on top. And the nut, clean the threads on the nut. And screw that down.
Just how tight? You're going to tighten it with the wrenches? Okay.
And you tighten it down. Give it a good generous tight. Tighten them as tight as you can get it. This is going to swivel and it's going to have up and down free play. That's what you want, and you want threads sticking out. So as long as this moves a little bit, the threads are sticking out, that part is done. Now reassembling. Clean the guides, re-grease them.
Just a white lithium grease?
Yeah, most of the spray guides will have that. But white lithium works just fine. Put it on each end, puts a little grease in there.
It's the same grease
Sure
that the...
everything's clean. And install it on the side. Pinch them together and drop it down. Push it down. Install your washer. The metal one goes first, then the rubber one. On the top plate, some round guides that we took out.
Okay.
Go into the barrels. Grease, clean and grease. A lot of white grease on there.
Okay. So the round guides go back in on each side. Okay.
The roller has to fit in to the guide that we just pushed in all the way. That's really important. There's a groove in there, and when it's in,
Don't move.
you'll see that it's in the groove of that guide.
Don't move.
Then you push it back and hold it right there.
Okay.
Here. I'll show you here. This has got a cutout,
Okay.
and that roller fits right in the center of that guide. It has to sit in there, and the pin sticks out.
Okay.
You can push it in this way if you'd like, it doesn't matter. That's got to be in there, and then all the way back into the guide to there. You take a good amount of grease and fill these in, so when you reassemble, they don't fall out and out of place. Just load it up real good. And at that time, you put a little bit in there for the guides to go into. And this is ready to go back on. That goes right over there and down. Put a little grease on the threads of the bolts. These do not get loctite. When you tighten it, we go in a crisscross pattern. Assemble the nuts. Each side, grease them up real good, make sure the springs aren't broke. Thread these in.
So that's that nut and spring, correct?
Correct. Nuts are on, these should be just sticking out a little bit. They're sticking way out. Something did not line up on the inside.
Okay.
So they should only have a little bit of coming out of there.
On both sides.
Now, these are tightened up. Now go back to these bolts here and loosen them. So what that's going to do is let this plate float a little bit. So these here pushing in on that line themselves up, it'll actually center itself. So there's a little free play in there. And then tighten them back up again. Crisscross pattern.
So what happens if you don't loosen them after that? It might not be in alignment?
It'll wear, prematurely wear faster than if it would if it was straight. It'll still work.
It'll work, but it'll wear
This way it
fast.
wears more even on the side.
Okay.
Now that's all assembled. You have the rubber grommet that needs to go on there. It is a tapered rubber grommet that's skinnier on one side.
Skinny side goes in?
Skinny side's here, because the bell is rounded.
Oh, so the skinny side's on the top,
There's
okay.
the skinny side, this is the big side. You can see the wrenching on there.
Okay, I see. Yep.
Reassemble. Get it to fit over it. And before you do anything, put thread tape or a thread sealer, whatever you might have, on the threads of the elbow. Thread that in before you put the little screws in. So you're aligning it. So let's make sure it's in there. Put all the little hold down screws in. Your wrench, and now you tighten the elbow up. Place it to where it was. Tighten up the airline. At the top. Add the air to it and it should work. And what we just did is adjust the trip rod again. So when it goes down, it pulls down that piece that we had on here. If this is too low, the pump will bottom out before it'll trip the air motor over. Now, if the threads are sticking out, chances are the other problem would be lower ends are coming apart down here. And what you can do to check them pretty easy is to remove these two bottoms and run the air motor. It should cycle with them off if them are coming loose. And that would be another taking a bottom end apart.
Okay.
That's it.